I am ready when you are.
Okay. Welcome to the podcast. You're listening to Marketing Mondays with Meg, where business owners come to get honest, practical, and smart advice about how to market their business. I'm Meg Hewer, an award-winning marketing and brand strategist, and I'm joined by my producer, Matt Heyer from Berg Brothers Media.
Always great to be here.
Today we're talking about what makes your business unique and different so that you stand out from your competitors. Some people call this their competitive advantage. Some call it your unique selling proposition or your differentiator. It doesn't really matter what you call it, but it's important that you have one because the world is cluttered with marketing messages today. Between our phones and our social media and everything else, we're exposed to 5,000 to 7,000 messages a day. So you need to find a way to stand out and get noticed. So I'm going to give you an example. Last year, I was looking for a photographer to take professional photos for my website. And I called several different people, and they all told me the same thing. They said that they took pictures of kids and families and pets and weddings and graduations, and oh, by the way, we do business people too. And that just didn't excite me at all. I was looking for someone who had experience working with business people. I wanted someone who could help me with photos for my website and my social media and help me look really, really good at that. So I looked at all their websites and they all did a great job, but no one stood out to me. They all looked the same. So I ended up picking one that was the least expensive because I didn't know what else to do. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. You don't want to be the one who's chosen because you're the cheapest. If that's why people buy from you, then you are going to work like a dog and make no money. Mm-hmm. And then it's very difficult to have a sustainable business, right? You're just going to be working all the time and you're going to be in a hamster wheel you're never going to get out of. So how do you avoid this pitfall? Well, first, you have to understand that your differentiator, figuring that out can be really hard. This is something that I struggled with in my own business. It can be very difficult. So to do this, you need to be really honest with yourself and you need to look at your business from a different perspective. Because as a business owner, we're really close to it, right? It's like looking at your own kids and finding their faults. It's hard to do. So here's what you want to do. You want to look at what do you do better than your competitors? So you look at everybody else that's out there doing what you're doing and what are you doing that's different? What do you do that's better? When I meet with clients for the first time, they always tell me what makes them different is their customer service or their relationships with their clients. Those are not differentiators because everyone should have good customer service, right? Your clients should like you. That's expected. But people actually think that's what makes them different. They will tell prospective customers that the reason to buy from us is because we have good customer service. Again, that is expected. It is not a differentiator. So you need to dig deeper and figure out what you do that's really and truly better than what your competitors are doing. Mm-hmm. So you want to ask a couple of questions. Like what specific products or services do you offer that you do really well? Maybe you do that better than everyone else is doing it. What do you do that changes people's lives? Right? Do you make them healthier? Do you make them happier? Do you make them wealthier? And then try to focus on those things. Do you provide your services differently? That can be a differentiator. What are you doing in your industry that no one else is doing? That can really set you apart. So another idea is to look at your industry and see what problems exist or what holes are there that could create an opportunity for you. So that's actually what I did with my business. And like I said, I struggled trying to figure out what made my marketing firm different from the thousands of other ones that are out there. And what I saw a couple of years ago is that the marketing industry was changing so much that the days of having a marketing person in a company was over because there is no one person that can be a strategist, a media buyer, a video production person, an SEO person, a web developer. You can't do that. So I saw that as an opportunity to put together a team that we can take into a business and become their marketing department. So I saw where there was a hole or where the opportunity was, and I created something. And that's something that you might want to look at doing. Because if you can't figure out what to do, I mean, sometimes a financial planner is just a financial planner, right? Yeah. And sometimes an insurance agency is just an insurance agency. It's hard to figure out what you're doing that's different. So if you're struggling, you might want to create something, right? So maybe it's a process. Maybe you work with people in a different way that's unique to you. Or maybe it's the way you deliver your service or the way you deliver your product. Maybe you do it faster. So you become the Amazon of your industry, right? And finally, once you figure out what your differentiator is, you need to create messaging around it to promote the heck out of it, right? You need to let people know what that is that makes you different, because what we want people to do is buy from you, right? And that differentiator should give people a reason to buy from you instead of your competitors. So if you decide that you're an accountant and you're going to specialize in working with people in the creative services industry, then you need to come up with a very clear way of saying that. Create some messaging around that. And then you need to plaster it everywhere, right? It's got to be on your website, your email marketing, your social media, in your videos, in your LinkedIn profile. It needs to be everywhere. So if you're going to create a differentiator, make sure people understand what it is. So I think that's the end of our podcast for today. I'm going to give you 3 practical tips that you can do this week to change your business based on what we just talked about. So here they are. The first one is take a look at your best customers. If you're trying to figure out what makes you unique and different, look at who they are and what you do for them, because that's probably your superpower, right? That's probably the thing that you're already doing really well, but you don't realize it. And you can hone in on that skill. And maybe instead of offering 5 different things, that you just offered that one and you really hit it out of the ballpark. So that's one option. The second one is, this week, take a look at your customers that you really enjoy working with. We all have clients we love, and we all have clients that we don't enjoy as much. And if you look at what you're doing for your best customers, and they're the ones you really like, then figure out what problem they have and what are you doing to solve that problem. Because if you can figure that out, that may be able to be your unique selling proposition, and then you can create an entire business around it. Forget doing all the other stuff that you do that you don't like. Just focus on that one thing. And lastly, look at finding a niche, somewhere that you can be an expert. So look at the experiences that you have. Maybe it's the industries that you work with. Maybe it's certain types of clients. Those could be, if you have a lot of experience in a certain area, working with maybe nonprofits, or maybe it's working with financial planners like we talked about earlier. You can focus in that area and develop an expertise in that. And then people in that field are going to come to you because you are now the expert of that.
Yeah, it's funny because one of the strangest tips I ever got taking any business courses or working with anybody who owns a business is you want to build on your strengths, not necessarily your weaknesses all the time. So it's like, instead of focusing on your weaknesses and trying to build them up, focus on what really makes you great and what really makes you stand out, and then focus on how to innovate within your strength rather than within your weaknesses.
Absolutely. That's brilliant, Matt, because I do see people trying, because they'll take any business that comes along. And so sometimes you take business that you really don't know how to do it. Or you're not very good at it, but you want the money, so you take it. And then you don't really deliver well on it because it's not something that you're good at. Don't even put yourself in that position. Focus on, like you said, focus on the things you do really well, and you can build a really successful business around that. That's a great point.
Yeah, because that's all in your portfolio. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So if you like these marketing tips and you want more of them, please visit my website, which is thebrandaccelerator.com, and sign up for my e-blasts, which come out every Monday morning. And we also are creating a Facebook group that is called Marketing Mondays with Meg also. That's a place where you can connect with other business owners and ask questions and share your thoughts and advice. So we'd love to have you be a part of that group as well. So thanks for being with us today for Marketing Mondays with Meg. And again, thank you, Matt, for being a part of the show today and producing. Until next week, be sure to inspire other business owners because together we can change the world. Have a great week.
Awesome. Another good one. All right. Sweet.